From what you've seen through Team USA's practice games against Canada, Australia, and Serbia, and South Sudan, and now Germany, what's the biggest reason you see that our guys won't win gold?
Yeah, it's about to get real. The only way that the U.S. won't win gold is if something happens to LeBron where he can't play.
Okay, so it's as simple as that.
Yeah, as simple as that. The U.S. team's collection of talent is going to overwhelm everybody. Yeah, we've seen a few close games. We've seen it come down to the wire, but I think it's a learning process with them. Also, I think one thing is a concern, though. One thing is concerned, if the U.S. keep getting up all these open threes and somebody get hot, it's going to be a long night. But ultimately, I think they got too much because what you've seen LeBron do last night and the night before that, Curry can do that. Durant can come back and do that. Tatum, Anthony Edwards, they got like 5 or 6 guys that can do that right there and close out a game. So my concern level is low because I think these are learning experiences for the U.S., and I think once the competition starts, they're going to hit another switch and hopefully cover some of these spreads because, you know, these spreads haven't been right all throughout these exhibitions. But I really do believe there's nobody with the depth of the USA team. Well, I know there's nobody with the depth of the USA team. They just got to do a better job defending the three.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Paul on that. Look, man, it's how they're going to win, right? I think when you look at, so how many games do you have to win to qualify to get into the
pool play?
Pool play.
3 to get 3.
So you're getting your 3. They're going to get the 3.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think
you could technically, you could lose one if you still win your group. There are 4 teams in a group.
Yeah, they're going to win their group.
Yeah.
So they're going to win their group. And then when you look at it, it's just how do they win? Do they win by 30 or do they win by 3? That's all it is at the end of the day. Because like Paul said, we said it earlier, they too deep. Any of those dudes can really do that. They really can. Because what we have is we have star individual players that's what they do for their teams. They're all the closers for their teams. Yeah. Every last one of them that I can think of is when we're talking about the top dudes on the U.S. team are all closers for their teams. You know, yeah, you can say, well, Bam's not really a closer, it's Jimmy Butler or whoever else. You can say that. But for the most part, though, on these other teams, a lot of these guys, the ones that we don't know of that are Europeans, that we don't really know. I'm just speaking more for the NBA guys. Most of those dudes are role players that I can think of. Outside of, well, Luka's not in it. Joker, obviously, he's the guy. Giannis is the guy. And I got to think of, Rudy Gobert's not the guy in France. So when you start to look at it, it's like most of these guys are role players. They're not used to certain things. Well, our star players are used to, I need to now just take over with the last 5 minutes of the game. That's what I look at, and I say, well, what are they going to win by? Now, like Paul said, if we keep missing our threes and those other teams start knocking theirs down, then we might be in trouble because we're missing a lot. We're taking a lot, but we're missing a lot.
Okay. I still think you're both underestimating just how good of basketball teams all these other teams are. They're better teams than we are, but we have way better players than they have. So it is a 3-point shooting tournament, and through the first 5 practice games, our opponents took 30 more threes than we took. And yet they didn't shoot it well. Our opponents, they shot 29%. And I showed you that tape of Germany went 1 for 11 in the fourth quarter. And if they'd gone 3 for 11, we might be having a different conversation. And they missed a bunch of open threes because you can get open threes against our guys. It's hard to get internal shots, like paint shots against our guys because Anthony Davis and Embiid's starting to get his legs up underneath him. And bam, they're just too good. It's just hard to get to the rim against our guys, even though early on we were getting up point paints just on plays, like backdoor plays and where we just weren't ready for what they did to us. But the point is, we kind of have come and gone with Steph. When Steph, against Serbia, in the practice game, Steph made 6 out of 9 threes. Well, if he does that for 6 straight games, we will cruise to the goal.
Which he's capable of.
He's capable, but he's also capable of what he did last night, which is 1 for 7. So what you don't want to see is the biggest reason we would lose gold is that one time one team would shoot the lights out and have the night of their life. Whatever it is, it could be Serbia, it could be Germany, it could be, I don't know, it could be certainly Canada. If
Puerto Rico, who knows?
It could be Puerto Rico. But once you get in this isn't like the NBA playoffs where you got wiggle room, man, where if you blow a game, you say, okay, well, we'll get them back. And you usually do get them back, right? Because it's 7 games. But if you get to the quarterfinals, it's just, this is it, man.
This is it.
Yeah. And then the semifinals, and then the finals. And our guys aren't built like this. Like they don't know this because they didn't sort of grow up with this kind of a format since, I don't know, AAU or whatever, where you might get in that.
Yep.
But the point is, you better be careful that somebody doesn't just shoot you right between the eyes, you know, where they just everything they throw up goes in. And then I also throw this out. Victor Wembanyama is the freak of freaks. And he is so good already that he is capable against the US of A. He is capable.
So who's on that team?
Just Gobert and Fournier, and they're not that great. But he is one of one. And if he had a game where
One of them quarterfinals or something?
I'm talking about where he went for 40 and 20.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's not happening.
Okay, he might make 5 or 6 threes to do it.
Yeah, he can shoot 5 or 6 threes.
Okay.
His whole thing will be him defensively, not allowing the U.S.
Oh,
to get.
then that too.
And if they can get to their shooters and make shots, that's the key. You literally gotta make 20 threes to beat the U.S.
Yeah.
If you can make 20 threes, which is,
Well, if you get up 50,
I don't know.
You know,
I don't know if you could do that. That's what it's gonna take to beat the U.S.
Okay, how did the Celtics win the championship? What was their MO? What did
Shot
they
a
do?
lot of threes.
They shot 50-ish threes a game, right?
Yeah, but they got guys who can shoot it.
They did.
You got to have guys that can shoot it. How many of these teams got 5 guys at all times on the court that can shoot the 3? That's it.
I mean, I don't know enough about the international basketball players to really say, but I know that they missing a lot of shots, and if those shots were to go in, then, yeah, you could be in trouble.
Yes.
You could.
So they got to clean up their three-point defense, clean up their turnovers, and just offensively figure it out. It's too much offensive talent for them not to score 100 points and win by double figures. So that's the reason why they're not beating the spread and winning by double figures is because the offense, it just looks like stagnant at times.
It was clunky. It was.
They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's a new territory that they're in, and you got all these different star players. Like you said, they go stand in the corner. They don't know what to do. But they'll get there. I'm not worried about it at all.
No?
No, because they haven't lost, even in these practice games.
They have not
They still haven't lost.
They have never lost.
They just haven't met the expectations of the spread. That's all.
Okay, but your guys' tune has changed from just close your eyes and pick 5 and throw
No,
them
it's
out
still
there.
that.
No, I
it's
still
just
got
that
that.
my tune has changed on them covering the spread.
He ain't gonna mention South Sudan again. That's what he said.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take the under
All right.
on the spread now.